Let me ask you a question, friend. Where does your time go? Now, I'm not talking about just hours on a clock. I'm talking about your life, your minutes, your moments, your one and only chance to make something remarkable out of yourself. You see, every day, whether you see them or not, time thieves are robbing you blind, and they don't break in wearing ski masks. No, sir, they come dressed as distractions. They wear the face of procrastination. They slip in through habits you've stopped questioning. And before you know it, they've stolen a year, then 5, then a decade. Your dreams, delayed, your goals, derailed, your life, distracted. But here's the truth. You don't get more time. Time is not a bank account you can refill. It's a gift with a ticking clock. And every minute spent on the meaningless is a minute robbed from the meaningful. So in this lesson, yes, this very lesson, we're going to shine a light on these thieves. We're going to call them out. We're going to chase them down. And we're going to take back what's ours. Because until you control your time will continue to control you. So stay with me. This might just be the most important 20 minutes of your week. Maybe even your life. Let's begin. Awareness is the alarm clock. Wake up to where your time goes. Don't just count your days. Make your days count. Let me begin with a powerful truth. Awareness is the beginning of change. If you don't know it's broken, you won't fix it. If you don't know it's leaking, you won't patch it. And if you don't know where your time is going, well, you'll keep losing it. Day after day after day. Now I want you to think about this. Time is the great equalizer. We don't all have the same talent. We don't all have the same money, the same education, or the same opportunities. But we all have the same 24 hours. The difference between a successful life and a frustrated one, it's what you do with those hours. It's where they go. And most importantly, it's whether you're even aware of how you're spending them. So here's the big question of this chapter. Do you know where your time is going? Not just generally. Not, oh, I work hard, or I stay busy. I'm talking about real awareness, precision. Where are your minutes going? Who's getting them? And are they earning their value? Because let me tell you something. If you're casual with your time, you'll become a casualty of your own potential. Step 1, track it like treasure. Now, you'd never hand your wallet to a stranger and say, take what you want. But every day, people do exactly that with their time. They hand it out, freely, mindlessly. No awareness, no limits. So let me give you your first big challenge in this journey, to kill the time thieves. Start tracking your time. Not forever, just for 1 week. From the moment you wake up, to the time your head hits the pillow. Now I know what some people say, Jim, that sounds tedious. Yes, it might be. But what's more tedious, tracking a few hours today, or wasting thousands of them over a lifetime. Grab a notebook, or a spreadsheet, or an app. I don't care how you do it, track your time. What are you doing every hour? Who are you with? What tasks are taking longer than they should? Where are you efficient? And where are you bleeding? Because the moment you see it, you can start to shape it. Step 2, audit with brutal honesty. Once you've tracked it, review it. Now here's the key. Be honest. Not defensive, not ashamed, not distracted, honest. Look at your time log and ask yourself, how much time did I give to my goals? How much did I spend reacting to other people's agendas? How much was productive and how much was simply habitual? Because listen, you don't just drift into success, you drift into regret. You walk into success with clarity, with direction, with awareness. Step 3, identify the leaks every time thief has a hole. They crawl through. Sometimes it's obvious. Endless scrolling, binge watching, busy work. But sometimes it's subtle. It's a meeting that should have been an email. It's a 10-minute conversation that turns into an hour of gossip. It's that quick break that turns into a wasted afternoon. Find the leaks. Patch them. Not tomorrow. Today. Because remember, time doesn't shout when it's being stolen. It whispers. And by the time you hear the silence of a wasted life, it's too late. Step 4. Assign value to time. Now here's a mindset shift that changed my life. Don't spend time. Invest it. Every minute is a coin, and you should be asking yourself, what's the return on this hour? Time with family, that's a dividend of love. Time building a business, that's an investment in legacy. Time learning, that's compound interest on your mind. But time given to nonsense, to laziness, to things that don't matter, that's a bad investment, and one you can't get back. So reassign the value. Don't just kill time. Use it. Grow it. Protect it. Step 5. Wake up with intention. Let me wrap this chapter by saying this. You don't need more hours in the day. You need to wake up with more clarity in the ones you already have. Make the decision. From now on, I will live like time matters. From now on, I will no longer be unaware. From now on, I will wake up, not just from sleep, but from distraction, from delay, and from drifting. Because awareness is the alarm clock, and the moment you hear it ring, that's when you start to live on purpose. Let me leave you with a question only you can answer. If someone followed you around for the next 7 days, and watched how you used your time, would they believe you were serious about your goals? If not, good. That's the beginning of change. Now let's move forward. The thieves are still out there, but now, so are you. Procrastination, the friend who always betrays you. Don't wait, the time will never be just right. Let me introduce you to someone. You've probably known them for years. You've probably invited them into your life more times than you can count. They always say the same thing. Not now, later. Tomorrow sounds better. Their name is procrastination. And make no mistake, they are not your friend. Oh, they act like a friend. They speak in a soft voice. They tell you to rest, to wait. They promise you time. They say relax, you've got plenty of it. But here's the truth. Procrastination is a liar, a thief, a traitor. And if you keep trusting it, one day you'll wake up surrounded by unfinished dreams and unrealized potential. The trap of later. Now let me tell you, one of the most dangerous words in the English language is this one right here. Later. See, later sounds responsible. Later sounds mature. But what it really means is, I'm not ready to be disciplined today. It means I'm choosing comfort over courage. Let me give it to you straight. Later is the language of the poor. Later is the motto of the unfulfilled. Later is how average people stay average. You want success, you want change, you want results. There is no later in that equation. There is only now. The high cost of delay procrastination doesn't cost you hours. It costs you momentum. And once you lose momentum, it takes 5 times the energy to get going again. You put off the workout today. It's easier to skip it tomorrow. You delay the phone call this week. That opportunity might not be there next week. You say, I'll fix the habit someday. That someday becomes never. And let me remind you, regret weighs more than discipline. Discipline is heavy for a moment. Regret stays for a lifetime. The excuses sound smart, but they're still excuses now. Here's how procrastination really fools you. It doesn't show up in laziness. It shows up in logic. You say, I work better under pressure. I need to be in the right mood. I'm waiting for the perfect time. Let me tell you what those are. Highly intelligent excuses, but excuses nonetheless. I've met people who've been planning to start for 10 years. Planning, not doing. Don't be the person with the perfect blueprint. And no building. The cure. Start ugly. Here's your antidote to procrastination. You ready? Start. Not perfectly. Not smoothly. Not even confidently. Just start. Start while it's uncomfortable. Start while you're nervous. Start while it's messy. Because action cures fear, and discipline cures delay. See, the secret is not in waiting for the right mood. The secret is doing it until the right mood catches up with you. The 5-minute rule. Here's a little tactic that works wonders. I call it the 5-minute rule. Whatever you've been putting off, start it for just 5 minutes. That's it. 5. Clean the room for 5 minutes. Write for 5 minutes. Exercise for 5 minutes. Just start. Because once you begin, the brain says, well, we're already moving, might as well keep going. And that, my friend, is how momentum begins. Small steps taken immediately build the habit of finishing. The problem isn't starting. Most people can start. The power is in finishing. Train your brain that when you start something, you finish it. Doesn't matter if it's big or small, a dish, a journal entry, a workout, a business idea. Finish what you begin, because finishers win. Starters only dream. What could your life look like without procrastination? Just imagine it for a second. What if you did the thing the day it came to mind? What if you stopped delaying the decisions you already know you need to make? What if you trained yourself to act, not react, every single time? Here's what would happen. You'd be miles ahead of the person you were last year. You'd be living the life others are still planning to start. Final thought. Tomorrow's not promised, but today is paid for. Let me close this chapter with a dose of reality. Time is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not a promise. But today has already been paid for, in full. It's in your hands. So don't betray your future by bowing to delay. Kill procrastination now. Not tomorrow. Not tonight. Now. Get up. Get moving. Get focused. Your dreams are waiting, but they won't wait forever. The distraction trap. How technology and tinkering waste years. Don't get caught in the thick of thin things. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you spent an entire hour undistracted on something that really mattered? Not multitasking, not half listening, not toggling between apps. I mean one focused hour, pure, intentional, high value. If you're like most people today, it's been a while, and there's a reason for that. We are no longer just surrounded by distractions. We are addicted to them. The new time thief, noise that looks like value. Now I'm not anti-technology. No sir. I love what it can do. Efficiency, access, speed. But here's what I've learned. Technology is a brilliant servant and a terrible master. You know what I'm talking about. You sit down to get to work, and what happens? Ding, a notification. Buzz, a message. Swipe, a scroll. And before you know it, you've burned 2 hours, clicked 100 things, learned nothing new, and built nothing useful. See, these distractions don't feel dangerous, but they are, because they don't destroy your life in one big blow. They steal it, one scroll at a time. Distraction is not a break, it's a drift. Now listen closely. This is important. Distraction doesn't always feel bad, but it always costs something. People think, I just need a break. And yes, breaks are good. But here's the difference. A true break refreshes your energy. A distraction drains it and pretends to entertain you while it does. You think you're relaxing, but you're not. You're numbing. You think you're staying connected, but you're losing connection to your goals, your focus, and your deeper self. That's not rest. That's erosion. Tinkering versus building. Now here's something subtle and deadly. Tinkering. You ever met someone who spends all day adjusting, tweaking, optimizing, but never finishing? They rearrange their to-do list instead of doing it. They watch 14 videos on productivity instead of producing. They spend 3 hours setting up folders and color codes, but never start the real work. That's not growth. That's disguised avoidance. You don't need another productivity app. You need to use the one you already have. Don't confuse movement with progress. Don't confuse polishing with building. You can't do deep work in a shallow mindset. Let me give you a key truth. Distraction trains your brain to crave shallow things. Quick dopamine, easy validation, constant stimulation. But your goals, your dreams, your business, your health, your calling, they live in deep work, focused time, silent hours, unbroken concentration. And if you keep feeding your brain candy, don't be surprised when it can't handle steak. Protect your focus like a fortress. So what's the solution? You have to build boundaries around your attention. Turn off notifications. Set focus hours each day. Use a timer. Work in blocks. Put your phone in another room. Shut off the tabs. Go old school if you have to. Pen and paper. Door closed. Phone off. It's not about being extreme. It's about being intentional. Because here's the truth. If you don't protect your focus, the world will hijack it. The hour of power. Try this. Pick 1 hour a day. Just one. And make it sacred. No noise. No social media. No multitasking. Just one task. One focus. One purpose. You'll get more done in that hour than most people do in a day. You'll feel powerful, clear, proud, and you'll begin to retrain your brain to love deep, focused creation. Do it for a week, then do it for a month. And before you know it, you'll be miles ahead of the distracted crowd. Final truth. You're not losing time. You're giving it away. Let's wrap this up with some real talk. You're not losing your time. You're giving it away. Voluntarily to devices, distractions, and digital noise. The good news, that means you can take it back. Right now, starting today. Cut the distractions. Silence the noise. Reclaim your attention. And then, watch your life sharpen. Watch your work deepen. Watch your progress compound. Because the ones who succeed in today's world are not the ones who do the most. They're the ones who can focus the deepest. And my friend, that can be you. The people who drain you, and how to set boundaries like a pro. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Let me tell you something that changed the course of my life. You can't grow your life if you're surrounded by people shrinking it. Now that's a tough truth, but it's one you've got to hear and one you've got to live. We've already talked about time thieves. We've talked about distractions. But today, I want to talk to you about the hardest thief to deal with. People, not all thieves wear masks. Now I'm not saying people are bad, not at all. But I am saying this, not everyone deserves access to your time, your energy, or your mind. You know who I'm talking about. The chronic complainer, the dream killer, the emotional black hole that pulls you in and never gives anything back. They don't come to grow, They come to drain. And if you let them too close for too long, you'll find yourself exhausted, bitter, and wondering why your life feels stuck. Let me give it to you straight. Energy is a currency, and some people are overdrafting your account. Emotional vampires. Spot them fast now. How do you know when someone is draining you? Here's a simple test. After spending time with them, do you feel inspired or depleted? Do they challenge you to grow or complain about how nothing ever works? Do they bring solutions or just more problems? Do they celebrate your wins or secretly resent them? Friend, people leave footprints on your spirit. You've got to check what kind of tracks they're leaving. And remember, just because someone's always been in your life, doesn't mean they should always stay in your life. Guilt is the gatekeeper of growth. Now some people hear this and say, "But Jim, that sounds harsh. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings." Let me tell you something. The first person you're hurting is yourself. See, guilt is powerful. It'll keep you in relationships that drain you. It'll convince you that saying no is selfish. It'll whisper, you owe them even when they're costing you your future. But here's what I learned. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your purpose. You owe them kindness. Yes, but you owe yourself boundaries. Boundaries. The walls that protect the garden. Think of your time and energy like a beautiful garden. Now what happens if you let everybody walk through it, anytime they want, with muddy boots and careless hands? That garden won't last long. The flowers will wither, the soil will be trampled, the beauty will be gone. That's your life without boundaries. So you've got to build a fence. You've got to say, this is my space. This is my growth zone. You don't get to walk in and wreck it. And guess what? Healthy people will respect your boundaries. Only the unhealthy ones will get upset. So the next time someone says you've changed, just smile and say, yes, I've grown. Learn to say no without explaining. Let me give you a superpower. Learn to say no firmly, kindly, and without a speech. You don't need to apologize. You don't need a 12-step justification. No is a complete sentence. Say, I'm not available for that. That doesn't align with my priorities right now. I've committed my time elsewhere. That's it. You see, saying no to them is saying yes to your vision. Upgrade your circle. Upgrade your life. Here's something I live by. If you're the smartest, hardest working, most ambitious person in your group, you're in the wrong group. You need people who challenge you, who call you higher, who speak possibility, not pity. Surround yourself with the disciplined, the focused, the grateful, the doers, the builders, the thinkers, the uplifters, because their energy will become your energy, and your future will rise or fall to the level of your circle. Final word, you can't build a big life with small people around you. Let me close this chapter with a simple truth. You get one life, one shot, one chance to build something meaningful. And if you let the wrong people stay in the room, they'll keep turning down the volume on your purpose. So step back, reevaluate, ask who builds me up, who tears me down, who sees my value, and who just sees what they can take. Be kind, be clear, be courageous, protect your peace, guard your time, and build a circle that makes you rise, not rot, because greatness doesn't grow in toxic soil. And if you want a better harvest, sometimes you've got to change the field. Meetings, email, and busy work. The illusion of productivity. Don't mistake movement for achievement. Let me tell you something I learned early in my career. Not everything that looks like work is work. You can be busy all day long and still accomplish nothing. You can check boxes, answer messages, sit through meetings, and yet when the day ends, you feel tired but not fulfilled, exhausted but not effective, active but not advancing. That's the illusion of productivity. And my friend, it's one of the most dangerous traps in the modern world. The new badge of honor. I'm busy. You ever ask someone how they're doing and they say, busy, not good, not great, not focused, just busy. Busy has become a badge. It makes us feel important, like we're in motion, like we're making progress. But let me ask you this. Busy doing what? Running where? For what purpose? It's not how many hours you work, it's what you produce in those hours. It's not the number of tasks, it's the value of those tasks. Don't fall in love with activity, fall in love with results. Meetings where ideas go to die. Now let's talk about the corporate time thief. Meetings. Now I know, some meetings matter, some are necessary, but most, let's be honest, they're long, repetitive, unproductive, and packed with people who don't even need to be there. You've got folks talking just to talk. Updates that could have been an email. Decisions that should have been made already. Here's a rule you should adopt. If the meeting doesn't have a purpose, a decision, or a deadline, it doesn't need to happen. Keep it short, keep it sharp, keep it moving. Because here's the truth. You weren't hired to attend meetings. You were hired to get results. The great email mirage. And now we arrive at another trap. Email. Oh yes, you wake up, and there they are. 50 new messages, dings, flags, urgent requests. And before you know it, it's noon, and you haven't started any meaningful work. Email is reactive. It puts you in other people's agendas. You start your day responding to their requests, their emergencies, their distractions, instead of pursuing your own mission. Now, I'm not saying ignore your inbox, but don't let it own you. Try this. Don't check email until after your most important work is done. Batch it. Twice a day. That's it. Keep your replies short and decisive. You're not paid to live in your inbox. You're paid to make things happen. Busy work. The most comfortable form of avoidance. Now let's talk about the sneakiest time thief of all. Busy work. It looks productive. It feels like progress, but it's not moving the needle. You're organizing files no one will ever open, rewriting lists instead of executing them, fiddling with fonts and colors instead of launching the thing, clicking, scrolling, rearranging instead of delivering. Busy work is comfort dressed up like contribution, and you've got to learn to spot it and stop it. Ask yourself this: is this activity producing income, impact, or improvement? If not, it's probably just motion without meaning. The 80/20 rule: do less, get more. Here's a rule that changed everything for me. The 80/20 principle. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. So identify your high leverage tasks. The ones that move the mission forward. The ones that generate revenue, solve problems, or create growth. Then do those things first. Every day. Because listen, successful people don't do more. They do what matters. Productivity is purpose in motion. Let me wrap this chapter with this idea. Productivity is not about speed. It's about purpose. It's not how fast you go. It's whether you're going in the right direction. It's not how full your calendar looks. It's how intentional your choices are. So I challenge you, cut the meaningless meetings, tame your email beast, kill the busy work, prioritize outcomes over optics, trade activity for achievement. Because in the end, you don't get paid for how many things you start. You get paid for what you finish. Poor planning. How lack of intent creates a life by accident. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Let me start this chapter with a hard truth. A life without a plan is a life by accident. Now, I don't mean accidents like car crashes. I mean the slow, subtle kind. The kind where one day blends into the next. The months pass, the years blur, and one morning you wake up and realize you've been busy, but not becoming. That's what poor planning does. It doesn't just delay your future, it dismantles it silently. You don't end up successful. You build it day by day. Success is not something you stumble into. No one wakes up accidentally wealthy. No one trips and falls into physical fitness. You don't just somehow write a book, launch a business, or build a strong marriage. No, you plan it. You prioritize it. You break it down, map it out, and show up for it, on purpose. And here's the key. If you don't plan your life, someone else will. They'll fill your calendar with their needs. They'll use your energy for their benefit. They'll hand you their blueprint, and you'll build their dreams instead of your own. Intentional living starts with intentional planning. Now let me be clear. Planning isn't about perfection. It's about direction. You don't need every detail figured out. You just need a compass, a system, a rhythm. Planning is how you translate dreams into action. It's how you say this matters. This comes first. This gets my best energy. Without that clarity, you drift. And drifting is the silent killer of potential. The Sunday night ritual, the CEO hour. Let me give you something practical. What I call the Sunday night ritual. You take 1 hour, just one. You sit down, no distractions, no noise, and you review your week. Ask yourself, what worked, what didn't, what matters most this coming week. Then you plan it. What are your top 3 priorities? What projects must move forward? What conversations need to happen? Where does your focus belong? You become the CEO of your life for 1 hour a week, so you're not scrambling the other 167. Because listen, if you don't schedule your priorities, your distractions will schedule themselves. The myth of I don't have time. I hear it all the time. Jim, I just don't have time to plan. And you know what I say? That's exactly why you need to. If your life feels chaotic, you don't need more hours. You need more order, more clarity, more intentionality, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And if your system is wake up and hope for the best, then friend, hope is not a strategy. Plan the day or react to it. Let's talk daily habits. Start each day with a short plan. What's the one task that if completed would make this day a win? Who do I need to follow up with? What will I not allow to steal my focus? That morning clarity, it's a shield. It protects you from chaos, confusion, and the greatest enemy of all, reaction mode. See, most people don't lead their day, they chase it. One email here, one text there, one fire after another. At the end of the day, they're worn out, but they didn't move forward. Don't chase, lead. And leading starts with a plan. The compound power of small, planned steps. Here's the beauty of planning. It compounds. One well-planned day becomes a strong week. One strong week becomes momentum. And with momentum, you begin to live not just with purpose, but with power. You don't need to plan the next 5 years. Just plan today. And then do that again tomorrow. And again the next day. That's how lives are built. Not in big bursts of brilliance, but in daily deliberate decisions. Final thought, build the life you actually want, on purpose. Let me leave you with this, you only get one shot at this life. And the question is not, will you be busy? You already are. The real question is, will you be intentional with that busyness? Or will you simply survive your days, and call it a life? Planning isn't boring. Planning is how you say to the world, this is where I'm going, this is who I'm becoming, this is how I'll get there. So take back your power, pick up the pen, draw the blueprint, lay the bricks, because if you plan it, you can build it. And if you build it right, you'll never have to live by accident again. The myth of multitasking, why it's making you slower and sloppier. Wherever you are, be there. If you're at work, work. If you're with family, be with family. If you're resting, rest, but don't mix them. That's how you lose both. Let's get straight to the truth. Multitasking is a myth. You're not doing many things at once. You're doing many things poorly. Now that may sound harsh, but it's real. And it might just be the thing that's been quietly killing your productivity, your creativity, and your peace of mind. You see, in today's world, everyone's trying to be everywhere. Every screen, every conversation, every task, all at once, all the time. And we've bought into this lie that more equals better. That if we do 3 things at the same time, we'll be 3 times as productive. Wrong. What you actually get is half results, double stress, and a mind that never fully shows up anywhere. You're not a computer. Stop acting like one. Let me explain something. Even computers slow down when you open too many tabs. Now imagine what that does to a human brain. The science is clear. Every time you switch tasks, you lose focus. You lose momentum. You have to mentally restart over and over again. They call it task switching cost. And it's expensive. Very expensive. Let's say you're writing a report. Then you check a message. Then back to writing. Then you answer an email. Every time you jump, you drop quality and burn energy. That's not productivity. That's mental ping pong. And guess what? You don't win that game. You just get tired. Multitasking feels productive. But it's not now. Here's the tricky part. Multitasking feels productive. You feel busy. You feel active. Your hands are moving. The screen is lit up. Things are happening. But remember, activity does not equal achievement. You can stir 10 pots at once and still end up with 10 cold dinners. It's not about how many things you're touching. It's about what you're finishing. And let me remind you, the world doesn't reward starters. It rewards finishers. Multitasking kills mastery. Let me ask you this. Have you ever watched a master at work? A master craftsman, a surgeon, a world-class athlete? They don't multitask. They don't juggle. They're locked in, fully present, fully focused. Because they understand something. Excellence lives in depth, not in distraction. You can't master your craft if your attention is scattered. You can't produce greatness when your mind is divided. You can't build anything meaningful if you never go deep. So if you want mastery, you must trade multitasking for momentum. Focus is the new superpower. In today's noisy world, you know what stands out. Focus. That's right. The ability to lock in on one task, one conversation, one goal, while everyone else is chasing dopamine and distractions. You go deep, and when you go deep, you create better results in less time. You reduce errors. You gain clarity. You feel progress. You finish what others just start. That kind of focused energy, that's rare. That's powerful. That's what builds a legendary life. How to kill multitasking in your day. Let me give you some practical tools, some Jim Rohn wisdom for your schedule. 1. Time block your day. Don't let your calendar happen by accident. Block off chunks of time for focused work. 1 task, no distractions. 2. Batch similar tasks. Emails, batch them. Calls, batch them. Creative work, give it its own zone. Don't mix, that's when the quality drops. 3. Silence the noise. Turn off the notifications, put the phone in another room. Let the world wait. What you're building matters more. 4. Practice being present. When you're with someone, be fully with them. When you're working, give it everything. When you're resting, rest. Don't check 5 apps at the same time. Final thought, depth beats dabble. Every time. Let me wrap this up with a truth you can live by. If you try to chase 2 rabbits, you lose both. Don't be that person, scattered, exhausted, half done in everything. Be the person who shows up fully, who focuses deeply, who finishes strong. Because in the end, you won't be remembered for how many things you touched. You'll be remembered for what you completed. And that, my friend, only happens 1 focused hour at a time. Perfectionism. The polished thief in a nice suit. Don't wait until everything is just right. It will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and less than ideal conditions. So what? Get started now. Let me introduce you to one of the most deceptive thieves of your time, your progress, and your potential. It doesn't look dangerous. In fact, it looks polished, sharp, sophisticated. It talks like a high achiever. It dresses in preparation. It smiles with standards. But don't be fooled. Its name is perfectionism, and it's not your ally. It's your silent assassin. The lie that sounds like wisdom. See, perfectionism is sneaky. It doesn't show up and say, let's waste time. No, it says, let's make this better. Let's polish it one more time. Let's not release it until it's flawless. Sounds smart, right? But here's the problem. Perfect never arrives. Perfect is a moving target. Perfect is a trap, because it keeps you in the preparation phase forever, and never lets you graduate to production. Progress over perfection. Let me tell you something that changed my life. You don't need to be perfect to be effective. People aren't inspired by your perfection. They're inspired by your progress, by your consistency, by your courage to show up and deliver, even when it's a little rough around the edges. I'd rather see you take imperfect action than wait 10 years to release something nobody ever sees. Because perfectionism doesn't improve your work. It prevents your work. The perfectionist's delay pattern. Here's how it goes. You start the project, then you start tweaking it. Then you rewrite it, redesign it, replan it, rethink it. And before you know it, you're stuck in version 17 of something the world hasn't even seen once. It's like polishing a car that hasn't even left the garage. Friend, it's not done when it's perfect. It's done when it's launched. Fear in a tuxedo, let's call it what it really is. Perfectionism is fear in disguise. Fear of failure. Fear of criticism. Fear of looking foolish. But instead of admitting that fear, we dress it up. We say, I'm just a perfectionist. We pretend it's a strength. But it's not strength. It's paralysis. And if you let it keep dressing up your fear, your dreams will sit in the closet forever. Done is better than perfect. Let me give you a phrase that will set you free. Done is better than perfect, because done gets feedback. Done gets results. Done builds momentum. And momentum, my friend, is what leads to greatness. Think about this. That book you never publish, it helps no one. That business you never launch, it changes no lives. That idea you never share, it goes to the grave with you. The world doesn't need perfect things. It needs real things. From people who are bold enough to ship the first draft. Let excellence be the goal, not obsession. Now listen. I'm not saying be sloppy. I'm not saying don't care. I'm not saying just wing it. I'm saying let go of perfect and aim for excellence instead. Excellence means you care, you prepare, you practice, but you also release, you ship, you deliver. You know the work is never truly finished, but it's ready enough to start serving someone else. How to break the perfectionist pattern. Let me give you some tools, right here and now. 1. Set a deadline for done. Don't wait until it feels ready. Give yourself a hard date to launch, and stick to it. 2. Limit revisions. 1 or 2 tweaks. That's it. After that, you're just hiding behind improvement. 3. Ask, who am I really trying to impress? Is it about making an impact, or about guarding your ego? Be honest, then move forward. 4. Release before you're comfortable. Yes, you'll feel exposed. Yes, it might feel premature. That's the sign you're growing. Final thought, the world needs you, not your perfection. Let me leave you with this. The clock is ticking. There's someone out there who needs your gift. Your voice, your message, your product, your service, but they'll never receive it. If you keep waiting for perfection, so release the thing, share the message, launch the project, make the call, take the shot. Because you don't have to be perfect to start, but you do have to start to ever become great. Entertainment overload, the addictive thief of dreams. If you spend more time on entertainment than education, don't be surprised when your results reflect that decision. Let me start with a question that might sting a little. How much of your life is being traded for cheap entertainment? Be honest. Because here's what I've seen. Again and again, people say they don't have time to work on their goals. But they've got time for 4 hours of Netflix. They've got time for fantasy leagues, video games, and gossip channels. They've got time for every new season, every new trend, every viral video. But they don't have time to build their dream. That's not a time problem, friend. That's a priority problem. The new addiction, digital distraction now. I'm not against entertainment. I enjoy a good film. I appreciate a great game. But here's the line. Entertainment should be a reward, not a routine. See, today's entertainment isn't just a luxury anymore. It's engineered addiction. Apps are designed to keep you hooked. Shows are made to autoplay the next episode before you can even blink. Notifications are built to keep your brain buzzing with dopamine. And what starts as a 5-minute break becomes an entire evening gone. Gone from your business. Gone from your personal growth. Gone from your family. Gone from your future. That's the price of passive consumption. And it's a high one. The illusion of relaxation. People say, I'm just relaxing. But let me ask you this. Do you feel refreshed afterward? Do you feel energized, clear-minded, motivated, or do you feel mentally cluttered, emotionally drained, and full of regret? That's not rest. That's numbness. And friend, numbing is not the same as recovery. Scrolling is not self-care. Binge-watching is not balance. Noise is not peace. True rest restores. True recovery recharges. And true success requires you to know the difference. The entertainment to education ratio. Here's a principle that changed my life. For every hour you spend on entertainment, spend at least 1 hour on education. That means for every show you watch, you read something. For every podcast you enjoy for fun, you listen to one that sharpens your skills. For every gaming session, you do a planning session. That's how you stay sharp. That's how you rise above average. That's how you make sure your mind doesn't become a playground for someone else's profits. Because listen, the world is full of million-dollar ideas, drowned in hours of low-value content. You can't consume and create at the same time. Here's another truth. You can't build your dream while you're watching someone else live theirs. You can't consume endless content and still expect to create a meaningful life. Every hour you spend watching someone else's story is an hour you didn't write your own. So if you're serious, if you really want a different future, you have to trade consumption for creation. Less watching, more doing, less reacting, more building, less escape, more engagement. Make entertainment earn its place. Now let's be real. You don't need to give it up completely, but you do need to make it earn its place in your life. So ask yourself, did I earn this break today? Did I move closer to my goals before I reached for the remote? Is this helping me recharge or helping me forget what I should be doing? And if it's not fueling your future, it's probably feeding your failure. Let your fun follow your focus, not the other way around. Your life is not a show. It's the main event. Let me close with this. Your life is not background noise. Your dream is not a side hustle to your distractions. You were not born to binge, buffer, and scroll your years away. You were born to create, to contribute, to live with energy, purpose, and intention. So take back your time, take back your mind, take back your ability to focus, build, and deliver. Because while others are being entertained, you're becoming extraordinary. The power of a productive hour. How to make 1 hour worth a day. Don't ask for more hours in the day. Ask for more value in your hours. Let me tell you something you might not have heard before. One focused, disciplined, productive hour is more powerful than 10 scattered ones. You see, success doesn't come from being busy all day long. Success comes from being effective for the right slice of the day. And if you master just 1 hour, just 60 sharp, intentional minutes, you can change your trajectory. Not in theory, in reality. Because it's not about how long you work. It's about what gets done while you work. The illusion of all-day effort. Some people think they need to grind 12 hours a day. But the truth, most people don't need more time. They need more intensity and less time. You've met people like this. They're at the desk all day, laptop open, phone in hand, head nodding like they're working. But But what did they actually produce? A few emails, a half-started document, a whole lot of movement, but not much progress. Now contrast that with someone who says, give me 1 hour, no distractions. They close the door, turn off the noise, open the notebook, and boom, they move the needle in 60 minutes flat. That's what we're after. Productive hours, focused effort, strategic output. What makes an hour productive? Not every hour is created equal. A productive hour is not filled with random tasks. It's filled with deliberate action. So what makes an hour truly powerful? 1. It's planned. You walk into that hour, knowing what matters most. You don't wonder what to do. You've already decided. 2. It's protected. You guard it like treasure. No calls, no scrolling, no distractions. The world can wait. This is your work zone. 3. It's purpose-driven. There's a mission attached. Not stay busy, not look active, but finish this, build that, move this forward. Start with the one thing. Ask yourself every morning, if I only accomplished one thing today, what would make the biggest difference? Then block 1 hour, early, when your energy's high, and do that thing. Don't check your email. Don't shuffle papers. Don't rearrange your to-do list. Do the one thing, and do it well. Because that one win, that's momentum, and momentum compounds. The myth of not enough time. People say, Jim, I just don't have enough time. But let me tell you, you don't need 8 hours of brilliance. You need 1 hour of intentional power. That's it. 1 hour of serious focus, 5 days a week. That's 250 powerful hours a year. Do you know what you could build with that? A business, a book, a brand, a body transformation, a better version of you, not with more time, but with more ownership of the time you already have. Train yourself to get more from less. See, when you only have 1 hour, you don't waste it. You don't fiddle. You don't drift. You go in with clarity. You come out with results. That pressure, that constraint, that's a gift. It forces you to focus, to cut the fluff, to separate the essential from the extra. That's how the top performers do it. They don't have more time than you. They just know how to use an hour like it's sacred. Examples of a productive hour. Here's what a productive hour can look like. Writing 1,000 words toward that book you keep talking about. Selling 10 focused calls to new clients. Planning, mapping out your goals for the week. Not reacting to chaos. Learning 60 minutes of reading. Growing, sharpening your mind. Creating, recording that video. Designing that project. Launching that idea. Don't underestimate it. That 1 hour can change your week. And string enough of those hours together. It will change your life. Consistency. Intensity. But focus equals fire. Let me tell you something else. You don't need to burn yourself out. You just need to show up for your hour. Every day. No skipping. No excuses. That hour becomes a ritual. A sanctuary. A standard. A sacred appointment with your future. People will ask, what's your secret? And you'll smile and say, I gave 1 serious hour a day to the things that mattered. And that, friend, is more than most will ever do. Final thought, you don't need more time. You need more purpose in your time. Let me leave you with this. Don't wait for a full day to appear. Don't wish for more free time. Don't complain about being busy. Take the hour you do have and own it. Make it count. Use it like a sculptor uses a chisel, with vision, precision, and consistency. Because when you master your hour, you begin to master your destiny. Choose urgency over excuses. You don't have forever. Without a sense of urgency, desire loses its value. Let me tell you something. Plain and simple. You don't have forever. You don't have unlimited chances. You don't have infinite time. And you don't get to hit pause on life while you figure it all out. The clock is ticking, my friend. Whether you move or don't move. Whether you act or wait. Whether you commit or delay. Time keeps moving. And that's why urgency isn't just a good idea. It's a requirement. Excuses are comfortable, but costly. Now let's talk about the other side of the coin. Excuses. Excuses are clever. They wear suits. They sound reasonable. They whisper, it's not the right time. They say you're tired. They tell you you'll do it after things calm down. But make no mistake, excuses are thieves. And every time you believe them, you give up something real. You give up momentum. You give up growth. You give up a version of your life that could have been extraordinary. You don't need a better excuse. You need a stronger why. Why most people wait and wait until it's too late. You ever notice how people wait for pain to get started? They wait until their health is in crisis before they eat right. They wait until their marriage is falling apart before they get intentional. They wait until their finances are on fire before they start learning about money. Why do we wait for pain? Why not move because of vision, because of purpose, because of urgency? You want to know what real urgency sounds like? This matters. This can't wait. I will not waste another day living beneath my potential. Now that is a powerful place to live. You don't need more time. You need more decisiveness. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You don't need more time. You need more decisiveness. You need to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the schedule to open up. Stop waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is what lasts. But both start with a moment of decision. And decision is born out of urgency. Urgency makes the moment matter. Let me ask you, how would you live if you knew the clock was running out? Would you still scroll endlessly? Would you still wait to write that book? Would you still push your goals to someday? See, most people don't act because they think they have more time than they actually do. But what if you treated every day like a countdown? Not in fear, but in focus. You'd show up sharper. You'd cut the fluff. You'd prioritize better. You'd start now. Urgency doesn't rush. It focuses. Now hear me. Urgency isn't panic. It's not anxiety. It's not rushing just to look busy. Urgency is focused intensity. It says this is worth my best. This isn't casual. It's critical. I don't need to be frantic, but I do need to be committed. It's the difference between playing around and playing to win. Today is the only guarantee you've got. Let me leave you with this. Today is not a warm-up. It's not a rehearsal. It's not a dress rehearsal for the life you want. This is the show. This is the opportunity. This is the moment. Kill the thief. Take back your life. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Well, friend, we've come to the end of the journey. We've talked about time, your most precious, irreplaceable asset. We've exposed the thieves: procrastination, distraction, perfectionism, people-pleasing, entertainment overload, and poor planning. And now you've got a choice to make. You can close this message, nod your head and say, that was good. Or you can do something. Because here's the final truth I want to leave with you. Time thieves don't stop. But now, neither will you. You know too much to go back. You can't unlearn what you've learned. You can't unsee what's been revealed. You've been given the mirror, and now you've got to make a move. Because every moment you stay in the trap is a moment your future self will wish they had back. This isn't about hustle culture. This isn't about burnout or overworking. This is about living on purpose, being intentional, doing what matters. Before time makes the decision for you, reclaim what's yours. Time is yours to command, but only if you claim it back. So you start today, you delete what drains, you schedule what matters, you set the boundary, you launch the thing, you take the call, you write the page, you turn off the noise. You take back your time by taking responsibility for it, because no one else will. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be present. Remember this, you don't need to get it all right. You don't need to map out 10 years. You just need to stop hiding, stop drifting, and start showing up with intention. 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. That's how lives change. That's how thieves are defeated. Not with one big decision, but with daily discipline, the final warning, and the final opportunity. Let me give it to you one more time. You don't get to do this forever. One day, the clock will run out. And when it does, you'll ask yourself one question. Did I protect my time like it mattered? Or did I give it away to everything that didn't? Let that question guide you. Let that question ignite you. Because the life you want is on the other side of clarity, focus, and follow through. Now go, before the thieves come back. Close the door to delay. Silence the lies of later. And walk out with a plan, a pen, and a purpose. Because your time isn't just minutes on a clock. It's your life, your calling, your impact, your legacy. And from this moment on, you know exactly what to do. Kill the thief, take back your life, and live every day like it counts, because it does.